Hey everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Abbreviated versions starting really today and here on out, because starting today or likely heading toward tomorrow, I'll be focusing a little more on the winter forecast, getting ready for that. Again, that'll be out on Halloween night. So at the moment, we are tracking quiet weather, high pressure, control of our weather over to the southeast part of the country. In fact, it is keeping things quiet in the Ohio Valley, and it is our protector, keeping all that humidity, all that nasty heat away from us, but it is moving. Since it is moving, then it's going to pretty much leave us vulnerable to a south wind to take over. Today it's a north wind, tomorrow south wind, and there will be a big jump in temperature as a result. Let me show you the futurecast, and we'll discuss the rain chances here. Overall this afternoon, again, we start to see that switch over to a more of a southeast wind more than anything this afternoon. Just enough to get us into that 82 to 85 degree range here in the city limits. Then for tonight, it's showing, low 40s here in the city in some cases. I don't see us being that cool. In fact, about 10 degrees warmer than what it's showing here is what I think will be here in Louisville. But some 50s widespread again for tomorrow. Now, as we head into the day tomorrow, we get more of that west-southwest wind. And that's usually a warming wind that causes Louisville's temperature especially to overachieve. A lot of the models are going about 87 to 88. I think we're going to be closer to 90 for high in the city. But a lot of you, in fact, 90 to 95% of you will not be that warm. Generally mid-80s for you guys. But here in the city, close to 90. But it is going to be a noticeably warmer day. Same story on Wednesday. Although Wednesday, the difference is we will begin to get some thunderstorm activity bubbling up, if you will, across the north. And the reason for that is a cold front that is going to smash down from the northern part of the area. Here's a look at the moisture levels from the NAM model. You can see where the front is. That's what we call pooling of moisture, right ahead of the front. Notice, though, most of it's dry in Kentucky, a dry air atmosphere, I should say. So anything that pops Wednesday afternoon all the way through Wednesday night is going to be across Indiana. Some of that may work its way into our area, but again, it'll be against the clock as this get later in the day, the sun goes down, a lot of the activity is going to fade out. So the rain chance is very small. Now, if we see more robust activity potentially developing in central areas of Indiana, then we may have to raise it, especially for Indiana, and then perhaps northern Kentucky as we get closer in time. But at the moment, I don't see a reason to do that because dry air around here usually wins out and protects us a little longer. It takes a little while for us to get back in that humid atmosphere to create a lot of thunderstorm action. So anyway, that's that small rain chance for Wednesday. Now, Thursday, the front should be either around Louisville or around portions of Nashville. Notice we try to get a little batch of cooler air in our area. We've been talking about this little cool shot of air for some time now, and it just kind of just bumps up against us. And notice there's still some moisture around. So yeah, there will be a partly sunny sky. I don't see a perfectly blue sky here. In fact, there's enough moisture around that it wouldn't surprise me that we'll have to add a rain chance in for Thursday, especially over Kentucky. Not going to do it yet, but keep in mind that's a possibility. I think it'll be enough to knock down the temperature a couple degrees, if that. Not a big difference really on this front Thursday. Then that front is going to go. You can see how anytime you see a boundary, by the way, that moves to your south, and you already see it go up again to your west, that's already should tell you it's a good sign that it's becoming a warm front. Already a warm surge taking over. So as we always say, what happens in St. Louis happens here in our area usually the next day, and we're already seeing that warming trend happen there, and we will likely see that happen. So the warm front will likely go back north on Friday. Now, initially, all the moisture content is going to be found closer to where it's what we call pooling. And this is going to be generally in this area is where a lot of that moisture is going to be found. So the rain chance on Friday, it should be in this general zone, and very spotty activity. The more east you are, the more you'll likely be in the drier air. And even northeast you are, the more drier your air will be. But then it's went to Saturday, and this is where we're already getting questions from you guys like, okay, great, another front on Saturday. How's this going to play out on rain chances? I will say it does look to be much more of a cloud issue for Friday night to Saturday. More cloud cover around, which we will likely see it limit our heating as we head into Saturday. Still expecting some thunderstorms to pop on the radar, but depending on which model you look at, some pop them east along I-75, and some develop some late-day downpours in our area, even Saturday evening, before the front passes through, which there's a chance the front may not completely clear us out on Sunday and Monday, and I'll explain in a second. Looking at the instability, this is the GFS instability chart, and you can see why it's not going crazy with instability Saturday afternoon because, again, it's betting on more of a cloudier kind of day in the area. There is some wind shear, by the way, so some stronger thunderstorms in this general area can't be ruled out closer to the path of the low, but I don't see us being outlooked yet until we get a better handle on whether or not we're going to be unstable enough. Last Saturday we had the sun. I told you guys, if you've got sun, be alert for severe weather. That's all you need. And I definitely see a situation here where we're going to get more clouds than sun. So I'm a little more skeptical on thunderstorm potential on Saturday. The good news with that is, yes, it will limit your storm potential, but it also will help limit the coverage and the intensity of the rain. The bad news is, when we see these scenarios, we see enough instability, and there's enough here that clouds will keep developing and thicken up, and you'll start to get downpours and showers. So you get more of the scattering of showers, but they can last a while, and it could be a longer duration of rain. It may not be overly heavy all the time. It may not be thunderstorms all the time. But there could be some showers around. And for football weather, I don't think it's going to bother you guys. I know you'd rather have sunny, but at least we wouldn't have to worry about severe weather. And I'm sure you guys will still have fun wearing your ponchos. But for the Bourbon Festival, not the best of news for that for this weekend. So stay tuned. It's still early in the game. It's only Monday. Just know we're watching it. We'll keep an eye on the details. But here's what I was talking about for Sunday. The front moves through, but this is where it stops. And there's still some moisture over Kentucky. Now, Indiana has a better chance to see some dry weather and cooler weather and refreshing weather on Sunday. But for the rest of us, I'm a little hesitant on how far that's going to go. So stay tuned for adjustments. We're going to dry it out Sunday, but we may have to keep the rain chance in toward the afternoon and perhaps even extend it into Monday. In fact, if you look at the app, that's pretty much what I've done already, and I'm leaning that direction, but again, it's early in the game. All right, let's get to the longer range models here and discuss the longer term as we close out summer. Here's the GFS, here's the Canadian, here's the Euro, and here's the Canadian is third. And those are the actual model runs, which change every so many hours. These are ensembles, which takes a calmer approach to the chaos that models can have. And this is taking us into this weekend. And you can see the little dip that's coming our way. That's up front that moves in Saturday into Sunday. Ensembles agree with it. So, yeah, okay, we got a front coming. Good confidence. Heading into the last day of summer. That's the official day. We lose the Canadian, by the way, because you can't see out that far. Looking at the ensembles, some slight differences on the GFS, and mainly because the GFS is struggling with the dew here with this low we were talking about last week. It's hung up in the Rockies. Because of that low, it's struggling with how much of a trophiness develops here across the nation's heartland into the Midwest, and therefore the ensemble is kind of a little loopy here. The Canadian, or excuse me, the European model, I'll get it right, sorry guys, it's Monday, is a little more aggressive with the trough in the Canadian border, and therefore it focuses that on the ensembles as well. It keeps it seasonable. And the Canadian does have an ensemble run. It's similar to the Euro, but a little more progressive with it. And then as we get into the last week of September, the GFS, Euro, and Canadian all show the potential for some trophiness in our area. So more than likely, cooler than average is expected for the end of the month. Not the entire time, but potential is there for a few days of that. But look at the GFS operational. I mean, it's showing nearly an omega block that is forming here on the GFS model. So GFS is really on some problems here. So go with the ensembles, guys. It's my guess and my advice, I should say, to you guys for the rest of the month. Because if you start looking at the operational models, you're going to see some that show another round of warmth coming our way. Some are going to see a lot of cold air. Oh my gosh, 4 days on the way. Oh no, we could get a snowflake in northern Indiana. Don't react to the operationals right now. This is a kind of pattern where they are going to mess you up if you pay too much attention to them. So use the ensembles for now. That's it for today. This is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Gosh, I'm sorry. It's time for me to go to bed. Catch you later.